What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So we got some breaking news. We got some bullish news with USA and the Saudis. We're finally making some progress. We're making some deals. We're making deals with the Middle East. I think peace in the Middle East might actually be happening in our lifetime. Guys, this is huge. We actually might be getting potential peace in the Middle East and a golden age in the next 4 years, and maybe even longer than that, because when you call it a golden age, it's definitely should be a little longer than 4 years, right? Because if we've had 4 years of utter chaos that we just kind of got out of, and then if you even go back further than that, it was kind of proxy ward chaos. It would be nice to have a good 10, 15, 20 years of a golden age, right? That we're all making money. Might be coming down the pipe. So, let's get into it. Welcome. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell to be notified, and make sure you're using all the links in the descriptions. It helps directly support the channel. We got a lot of bullish news to cover. We have some nice volatility happening in the market to the upside. We're going to check the trades. We're going to show some really amazing patterns that we were calling for Pepe and also Ethereum. We have XYO, one of our favorite coins, being mentioned in Forbes in a Forbes article. I almost said Forbes magazine, but a Forbes article. And who reads magazines anymore? I mean, I don't know. Maybe the Bitcoin magazine. We'll read that one. But yeah, we got some bullish things to cover, and we are going to get all through it. We're going to pull up some Trump truths, and let's get this show on the road, shall we? Let's do it. Okay, so first, let's look at this amazing crypto face. We got this pattern from Crypto Face, calling it the Jesus take the wheel pattern. And it's hilarious because it's basically like a, whoa, just Jesus take the wheel. And he's going to give us one more chance because we surely can't do it on our own. And so this is a pattern that's been breaking out of some of these altcoins. And when you kind of start to see it, you really, really start to see it. And so it's the hands thrown up in the air, Jesus take the wheel pattern, and that could bring us to a new all-time high, breaking a new all-time high for Pepe. And we just want to remind you guys that we love doing this. We love doing this because if you just not just click on the meme section, but if you just go to CoinMarketCap and you look at the coins by market cap and listing, and just click on the volume and bring all the coins up to what has the most trading volume. USDT has the most trading volume because it's the de facto stable coin for the perpetuals market in the futures market and trading across all crypto ecosystems. Okay. And then obviously the one down, because it's the highest traded by market cap and also by volume crypto, that's been the longest standing crypto, has Bitcoin. Under that, it's Ethereum. And then when you start to go down the list, look at what coin is under Dogecoin, because Dogecoin is still one of those in-game meme coin tokens that the egregore of cryptocurrency enthusiasts of the world and also of memes have still recognized Dogecoin to be top tier, lasting from the lore of the original meme. And so what's under this? It's Pepe. Pepe has a $2.1 billion trading volume. Above Sui, above the Trump coin, above Cardano, Tron, all the Litecoin, a lot of these fundamental projects, Avalanche, above SHIB. Pepe still is solidifying its dominance. And so that's why we are still perma-bullish on Pepe. Pepe being one of those coins that we bought when it first hit the scene. And then we got so distracted by other things. We've gone into this recently pretty heavy on how easily you can get distracted from something as juicy as Pepe becoming potentially the next Doge of this cycle. It can be very easy to miss that one. But yeah, crazy pattern happening on the charts for a lot of different altcoins, especially the top altcoin, Ethereum. We can see that finally, from this bottom point of 2020 here, we bottomed in 19 and 2020 on the ETH BTC chart. You can see here, if we full screen it, it's pretty apparent that now we're going to start moving in Ethereum price per the ETH BTC ratio, finally giving some traction here. So the next resistance point, we've marked the resistance point for this chart as at 0.028 for the ratio for the ETH BTC chart. So if we can flip that, because actually what's interesting is that in those resistance points, there's support. We've already bounced on some of these support levels, and then you can see where the trajectory of where we could go, and that's where we were in 2021. And then you can see whenever we were getting the craziest runs on altcoins, when we had an altcoin season, and we had also during this time Binance Smart Chain, DeFi Summer, coming out of this bounce, and see how this ratio started to pick up, and then it was like game on. It was game on. And what's interesting is that that's actually the same time where it crossed over the 200-day moving average to show the strength. And then that was when it really started to go up. So is it going to be the most bullish signal ever if we cross this 200-day moving average right here and start trading above it, and then we get this nice little V-shaped recovery? It could be coming down the pipe. I kind of feel it, that we're just right around the corner from one of the biggest runs that we've ever seen. So I'm really excited. All right, but welcome everyone. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for hitting the like button. We got Shark in the house. We got Don. We have Scottish Crypto. Ricky Ricardo. Nice. He said, that is an amazing neon. I don't know what you mean by that comment. All right, let's get into the Bitcoin price as it sits right now. Okay. So real quick, we'll show you and what's going on. We got Gemini giving shout outs right now. Welcome everyone. Make sure you let yourselves be known, and also hit the like button. That helps so much. It really just keeps the algorithm momentum going. Okay. I want to show you guys this chart here. Best way to look at a lot of these charts right now is the weekly charts. So you can see why is it bullish? Why are we so bullish right now for Bitcoin to just do what it did in these banana zones? Well, we've crossed over the 200-day moving average now. Now that we've crossed over the 200-day moving average on the weekly and we're trading above it, it's kind of game on. It's like off to the races at this point. And a lot of those price points that people are calling for, like the 200K or the 220K, or even close to, CZ said this cycle, which this cycle could be a very much extended, could get overextended. I don't want to say overextended. I want to say it's perfectly extended. It can extend as long as it wants to. And there's always going to, and like Gemini asked just right now, said, small pullbacks possible? Oh, there's always small pullbacks. That's the thing. Like if you look at how the markets react on the weekly charts, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks of upside, and then we'll get a dip. And then we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, another 6, 7 weeks of upside, and then we'll get maybe another little cool off. But then again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of, and then it kind of little fake out there, and then it keeps going. And this was even in 2021. And then this one was even crazier, was that at the peak here, it went all the way back down and retraced to $28,000, and then went back up to break all-time highs. That was a really big double top fake out that wrecked a lot of people, like fully wrecked. And you can see here in 2017, right here, it was a little bit more apparent that like, okay, that test right up there, it didn't even get close to breaking the all-time high from here. And then it was like down to like 3,000. And I bet a lot of people gave up here because they were like, oh, this thing's going to zero. Like that was it. But then it took it having a double bottom here and then bounced and just went to smash all-time highs like crazy. So that's what's so interesting about Bitcoin is that you have to be able to hold through the pain. You have to be able to hold through the volatility, because if you can, then, oh my gosh, you're massively rewarded. Because even just imagine that you got, a $4,000 Bitcoin, or you even got a $20,000 Bitcoin. And now we're sitting at $104,000 per Bitcoin. So there will be small pullbacks, but those are the times where you're like, all right, that's, you can buy, but it's tricky because think you're like, all right, here's my pullback. I'm going to buy here at 5,000. And then it goes down to 3,000. And you're like, oh my gosh, I just made a massive mistake. And then you could even be even crazier and think, I'm going to buy more at 3,000. Or I'm going to buy more right here at 4,300, and then it goes down to 3,000, almost crosses but below 2,000. You're like, oh no, I've made a terrible mistake. And you're like shaking. You're like the sell button. You're like about to see. You're like, I'm going to sell. I can't do it anymore. And then if you just hold through the pain, fight through the pain, then you are able to possibly catch a run up here. So, I mean, gosh, there's just so much that can happen. But with history and data that we've gone off the 4-year cycle, it's apparent to me now that we're going to have to hold through some pullbacks and things like that, and know that the targets are much higher. All right, so let's get into some of this bullish news. Let's get into, I found a really awesome thread that kind of breaks this all down and has some of the video clips that I actually wanted to show from President Trump visiting Saudi Arabia, going to the Middle East, from his, according to his truth, had a really great day in Saudi Arabia. And so let's break down this thread real quick. And if you're not following me at DANO Crypto 904, you'll be able to get these threads or get any of the posts or anything that I think is relevant for you guys to check out or funny. I recommend following me at DANO Crypto 904. And we post on here as well. And we also go live. Shout out to all the people that are watching currently on X. And let's break down this thread. We actually need to do this and repost it. And we'll bookmark it. All right, so we'll give the shout out thanks to Vigilant Fox. So President Trump is resetting the global order, and we have seen this through what Trump's team, and a lot of what a successful presidency is based on who you have in your cabinet. So, and who the president has picked for his cabinet. I mean, these are top tier people, and they're really going in and being, very, very aggressive on the first couple months of trying to eradicate a lot of what the Biden administration kind of left for us. If you really just want to put it blankly, it's just kind of like, the people that get affected the most are the people, the taxpayer. That's who gets affected the most, the worker, the taxpayer. The people who get are victim to outsourcing. And that's basically what that administration was doing, was outsourcing, and also outsourcing our money. So now that all of these deals are starting to come into play, the tariffs are now not this tariff scare. It's actually was the 4D chess move this whole time, because it's all about money. That's the thing that Trump understands. It's not about proxy wars and then getting defense contracts and then having your slush fund set up. That's not what it's about. No, it's about making deals and not having people die. So we're making the deals, baby. The golden age is coming in. So for the first time in decades, an American president, because you got to remember, we had Obama for 8 years ruining Africa. We had ObamaCon. You guys don't know about that, but I remember that crap. I mean, you wonder why Africa's so bad. Blame Obama. For real. Look up and research Obama and what he was doing in Africa with the proxy wars and incentivizing all the crap. And then not to mention, oh my gosh, I can't. You could go down the pipe with that, but it's insane. So he first time, the American president is prioritizing peace and prosperity over endless war. So he extended an olive branch to a longtime adversary, offering them a path to Western greatness, and this was with Iran. So this is what was kind of shocking, was very controversial, is that he was like, look, we'll make a deal with Iran, but like if they don't make the deal, we're basically going to make it really, really tough for them to survive or make any money at all. So it's all about money, guys. So then when you think about that, make the deals, and then we can stop the craziness. So then he dropped a line so raw it revealed exactly what his plans are to do over the next 4 years. Wile E. Coyote said the Obama era was the first era that the first male first lady. Well, you think that, but actually, if you go into Bush Sr., yeah, look up Bush Sr. There's more rabbit trails in that whole discussion. We can't go there, guys. Come on. We need to talk more about crypto and peace deals than going down that rabbit hole of no, we're not doing it here. We're not going to do it. Okay. All right, so check this out. We're going to watch some clips. This is awesome because this thread has it's shortened clips of pretty much the most important information. So Trump opened up with the U.S. Saudi Investment Forum with the powerful tribute to his longtime friend, the Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman. So let's watch this real quick.
Place, but more importantly, what great people. I want to thank His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince, for that incredible introduction. He's an incredible man. Known him a long time now. There's nobody like him. Thank you very much. Appreciate it very much, my friend.
Yeah, Stay Calm said Big Mike. Yeah.
And it's a tremendous honor to return to this beautiful kingdom and be welcomed back with such extraordinary generosity and warmth. I've never forgotten the exceptional hospitality showed to us by King Solomon, who's just, we talk about a great man. That is a great man.
So the pleasantries, but then he didn't stop at the Celebration Alliance. He took direct aim at the foreign policy elites who failed the region for decades. As he praised Saudi Arabia's historic transformation, he issued a scathing rebuke of the interventionist mindset that defined U.S. policy for years, and the heat was scorching. So let's check this little clip out right here.
Flying people in beautiful planes giving you lectures on how to live and intervention. And it's crucial for the wider world to note this great transformation has not come from Western interventionalists or flying people in beautiful planes giving you lectures on how to live and how to govern your own affairs. No, the gleaming marvels of Riyadh and Abu Dhabi were not created by the so-called nation builders, neocons, or liberal nonprofits like those who spent trillions and trillions of dollars failing to develop Kabul, Baghdad, so many other cities. Instead, the birth of a modern Middle East has been brought by the people of the region themselves, the people that are right here, the people that have lived here all their lives, developing your own sovereign countries, pursuing your own unique visions and charting your own destinies in your own way. It's really incredible what you've done. In the end, the so-called nation builders wrecked far more nations than they built, and the interventionists were intervening in complex societies that they did not even understand themselves. They told you how to do it, but they had no idea how to do it themselves. Peace, prosperity, and progress ultimately came not from a radical rejection of your heritage, but rather from embracing your national traditions and embracing that same heritage that you love so dearly.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Thought there was an emergency. Thought someone was choking or something, so I had to go check. All right. Okay. Yeah, I haven't checked out Pi. I haven't checked that out. Not really. Like I said earlier in the live stream, I'm keeping it pretty simple. All right, so familiar face in the crowd. All right, so let's check this out.
But to offer them a new path and a much better path toward a far better and more hopeful future. As I've shown repeatedly, I am willing to end past conflicts and forge new partnerships for a better and more stable world, even if our differences may be very profound, which obviously they are in the case of Iran. I have never believed in having permanent enemies. I am different than a lot of people think. I don't like permanent enemies, but sometimes you need enemies to do the job, and you have to do it right. Enemies get you motivated. In fact, some of the closest friends of the United States of America are nations we fought wars against in generations past, and now they're our friends and our allies. I want to make a deal with Iran. If I can make a deal with Iran, I'll be very happy if we're going to make your region and the world a safer place. But if Iran's leadership rejects this olive branch and continues to attack their neighbors, then we will have no choice but to inflict massive maximum pressure, drive Iranian oil exports to zero like I did before. If you know that, they were a virtually bankrupt country because of what I did. They had no money for terror. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, and take all action required to stop the regime from ever having a nuclear weapon. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon.
So yeah, this is huge. So this is pretty huge. All right, so it says the most revealing moment of the night didn't come during a foreign policy rundown. It came when Trump let the world in on what actually drives him. So this was the line that he dropped. He said, "As I said in my inaugural address, my greatest hope is to be a peacemaker, a unifier." He said, "I don't like war." And this wasn't just talk. He shared a story that the media barely mentioned, one that revealed how his philosophy plays out in practice. So he said, just days ago, my administration successfully brokered a historic ceasefire to stop the escalating violence between India and Pakistan. And so two nuclear powers, centuries of tension. And how did Trump stop it? Not with aircraft carriers, with trade, is just with the art of the deal. And so this is, yes, it is, and it really is historic. So it's hard, and someone mentioned this on the radio, and it was when I was driving my girl to school, and he said it's really easy to kind of let these events kind of blow past you and not realize that we are living through some of the events that like our parents or the historians like talk about from years past, or whenever we had like certain breakthroughs. And you kind of like, you think of like, the civil rights movement, think about that, like just kind of like, different pinpoints in American history or world history that where things changed and started to move into, a better direction, and yeah. So we're kind of living through these times right now, like coming out of COVID and seeing what could be coming down the pipe. But I hope it's not towards a Skynet, Terminator, 2028, 2029, singularity, AI, robot takeover. So that's like, because that could be coming down the pipe too. And then we get like 4 years of Valhalla, and then all of a sudden someone goes too far. They just go too far. OpenAI goes too far. Elon goes too far, and then we're all screwed. Then we all have to learn how to like literally be rebel vigilantes fighting crazy, super fast robots. Yeah, so Wile E. Coyote was explaining, he's like, yeah, now I just take profits in XYO. So yeah, XYO, I like I said, guys, I discovered it kind of a little bit pre-pump, and then afterwards, when we started kind of going into an altcoin bear market, and then it was, at that point, it was like any altcoins that you were buying, it was a massive gamble. But when I started to just follow the project, it was always something that I kept up with, and that's why I've mentioned XYO on the channel. I've made videos on it because it was just one of those first ERC20 Ethereum tokens where I tested something with an app, and I kind of liked the geo mining aspect of it. But now there's just kind of like a whole rabbit hole you could go down with XYO, and they're actually mentioned in Forbes. And so we'll go through here. So a DeepIn community powered infrastructure layer. So the whole question of this, or why DeepIn matters, or how it can actually be a big use case in daily activities of infrastructure layers. The 1.6 billion blackout that happened in Europe shows why we need DeepIn. So interesting enough, this is where decentralized infrastructure comes into play, specifically decentralized physical infrastructure networks. There are systems built not from the top down, but from the edges and then going in. So they use blockchain to enable individuals and communities to contribute their own resources, routers, sensors, compute power, and or energy into shared infrastructure that operates autonomously, securely, and without central control. So by operating the nodes. So you can actually create your own decentralized operating node in the XYO Oracle, and then it can have all kinds of use cases. So projects like XYO provide decentralized location data through a network of independently operated nodes. And so this geospatial Oracle system can operate even if GPS satellites or centralized mapping servers go down. So in case of a blackout, the kind of local verifiable real-time location data becomes incredibly valuable for emergency services, logistics, and public coordination. So, and then Marcus Levine is the co-founder of XYO. And then Ari Traw is the founder. So he said, Europe's recent outage highlights the vulnerability of relying solely on a centralized infrastructure. Decentralized physical infrastructure networks like XYO provide resilience by distributing infrastructure across stakeholders and independent nodes. And it's interesting because that's kind of like what Walrus is doing. They are decentralizing their network and their storage across things. So just like, look, even in the face of failure or blackouts or parts of the network go offline, the system can still retrieve complete data. So it's kind of this similar use case here where it's like, okay, if in case there's something happens, then we can actually use multiple different networks that are forging together to make sure that we can get full viewage of what would go out in a blackout. So this redundancy ensures that critical services like energy, emergency response, and logistics remain operational even when traditional systems fail. So pretty interesting. But I like that XYO was mentioned in the big Forbes article. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's get into the price here. I want to remind you guys that Jim Cramer today said banks are the safest place to store your wealth, which I thought was hilarious. I thought that was pretty funny. Banks are the safest place to store your wealth. And then, the Saudi Arabia to invest $600 billion in the United States, and BingX had it right. You can buy a lot of Bitcoin with that money. You sure can. You sure can. If anyone looks like this and starts coming at you, they're probably going to start talking to you about crypto, and they will not shut up. So if they if they start looking at you like this, or like this, they start to look at you with this kind of look. Or like this. Like, I cannot believe you don't even know what the Bitcoin price is right now. Did you know Bitcoin is at 9 cents? The people's Bitcoin, 9 cents. Can you even believe it? Check it out. I mean, that's like getting Bitcoin early before anyone even was even thinking about cryptocurrency. I mean, 9 cents? 9 cents? All right. We're going to check on the Coinbase short-term price action here. We're going to go into the 5-minute, and let's see what is happening on the 5-minute chart. Uh-oh. Looks like on the 5-minute chart is that a Jesus take the wheel, or is that a Mothman? I don't know. It's funny that CryptoFace has all these. He's got all these great names for what can happen. And throw the arms up. But this is on the 5-minute. Shark says, Carl from the moon, shout out to Carl Runefelt, said that by Friday, Bitcoin will be at 120K. I mean, he's probably not too far off. I think we're going to break through to 112, around 112, and then there's probably, I don't know, we could just start flying at that point once we break through those levels. We could pull the fib. I think we pulled the fib on what did we pull it on? The 4-hour that really gave us some clean data here. Because look, if we pull the fib from the low or from the high to the low here, let's just see. Yeah, fib retracement from the high to the low, and we get 126. Well, let's go to like right to the low. Let's just pull it right from the high to the low. From here to there. And it actually gets us at 129,000. And this is what's interesting, is that right in between these two fib levels is where that price target is like 120,000. But I have this level marked as well. It's possible. I mean, it's just Tuesday, and we're really holding strong. Like, if you think about it, in terms of the price action right now, we actually really are holding very, very strong in above the range of 100K, which is great. That means that 99,000, 100K resistance got completely overused by the bears. So the bears were so confident this time coming around back to 100K that was going to be their beautiful short level again. Like, oh, come up, pony up, guys. Let's all short 100K, and that didn't work out this time. And so it could be that we start cooking. And the bulls are going to get favored a little bit. But we are going to have to see what happens after 9:30. After 9:30, there could be some volatility with the market opens for the Asian markets. That's when it starts to cook a little bit, and then I would say around 10:30 is when it starts to get really rocking. You know, I would like say like between 9:30 and 10, and then between 2 and 3 a.m. and about around 3 a.m. it really starts to do some things too, because that's actually when Bitcoin has been surprise pumping, is like when everyone in the United States is sleeping, and it's just not like we're not even ready for it unless you're just not sleeping, or you wake up in the middle of the night like I did and just go, whoa, what is happening? So this is the season we're in right now. We're probably getting very close to the no sleep season, where markets start ripping so much that it's hard to go to sleep. Like, you'll just be up all night watching the prices to see what the heck is going to happen, because it's so volatile, and you might have trades open, and it's just wild. I kind of remember those times where I was losing sleep, and it was hard for me to go to sleep because it was just like things were just going. Things were going. And it was fun. It was fun, but you definitely lose sleep. But yeah, we could be coming in no sleep season. So if you start to notice that in your pattern, you're like, okay, I can't even go to sleep because the markets are ripping so much, then we're starting to get into some heated territory. And sometimes that could be a good profit-taking metric. Not to say like, oh, it's the top, that's the top signal, you start selling all your crypto. But when you start to feel like those types of levels of euphoria going into the rest of this year, and we hit a certain points where you feel multiple levels of euphoric feelings, start feeling real greedy, that's probably a good time. That's a good sell metric. Not to quit, not to fully sell everything, but man. Shark said, yeah, in 2021, it was crazy. Couldn't sleep as well, yeah. Yeah, we were all watching our phones. We were all like watching Robinhood. We were watching the Doge runs. Bitcoin was doing crazy things. Tesla was announcing, oh, we're going all in on Bitcoin. Altcoins were coming into new landscapes. There was more to the market than what was Ethereum and XRP and all these things, And then we had XRP in the lawsuit, so it kind of took all the market share, people that were bullish XRP, to go into Cardano and Polkadot and Chainlink and all these things. Yeah, it was wild. I even remember I was asking, and I was like, okay, should I buy XRP? And someone was like, no, they're in a lawsuit. Check out Polkadot or Chainlink or Cardano or something. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll do that. At least just started to go down the rabbit hole. But yeah, the thing that I'm really watching right now is really watching Pepe. I think Pepe is going to break here, like really, really hard here pretty soon. Like I can see it Really doing some magic here on the daily chart. Like hands, throw them up in the air, wave them like you just don't care, and we're gonna be up at new all-time highs. The new all-time high trigger is for Pepe is going to just send, I think, a lot of other meme coins too. That's what's cool about Pepe and Dogecoin sending. It kind of just pumps everyone else's meme coin bags, which is great. It just gives the sentiment and the push and the trend towards meme coins being viable to invest in. Invest with big quotes. But you can now think about it in terms, if you are going to be a long-term holder and you bought Pepe like way down here, like way in the early days, even at all these pumps, you could have been DCAing at every single day and all these pumps and craziness. And then you think, wow, even DCAing all through 2023, through 2024 in the beginning right there. And then you start, and then like even just getting an average price. So let's just go like to here. I mean, that's like 2,500% move from an average cost buy-in from all of these areas right here. So now you could probably explain to someone who is a old school institutional, maybe stock market investor, to show them that, wow, a frog meme like Pepe has that one of the highest trading volumes out of most cryptocurrency projects that are out there, and is in the top 10 of trading volume. It's pretty wild. So it's a big sentiment push positively towards memes when Pepe's doing well and Doge is doing well. And it's really kind of like a meme index and a great indicator for where we're at in that narrative. So that gives you hope. That's some big hopium. So breathe it in. And Stay Calm said, yeah, Pepe is gonna pump Brett. So like, yeah, that's a great example. Like Pepe starts pumping. I think Brett and the boys club, and at least the high liquidity boys club tokens will start to we'll kind of carry along with it. But we got to remember that the reason why these things are even getting back up into the traction here is because ETH finally woke up. And I think ETH found its bottom here at 1,300 or, at 1,300, right? Kind of wicked up to under 1,400, high 1,300s. And then now we found a pretty interesting level here. ETH is looking like on the daily is testing the 2,800 level. And this is the thing, we're going to break this resistance. We're about to trade over the 200-day moving average, and also the Bollinger Band has just been squeezing on the daily. I mean, look at this; it's just pinched. So we're about to have a really, really nice push to continue on Ethereum, which is going to send the alts. We're going to get back into our alt season here pretty soon. We're basically almost like in an altcoin month here, where we've just really showed some strength. But we are still in Bitcoin season. The Bitcoin dominance is still pretty high until the Bitcoin dominance goes down, which will show you on the chart here. Bitcoin dominance goes down. And it is going down. It's at 62%. So it looks like we could be trending down into 58. And I think once we're in between 58 and 56, and we start kind of eyeing these levels right here, and I think we have to get through the rest of this month and go into June and kind of see what happens in June and July. And we could be potentially having a, quote, pre-mini altcoin season to push us into a more ETH dominance area. when we start pushing back up, and it would match up with us crossing over that 200-day, that could sign bullish. And you can see here where the dominance was at 12, between 18 and 12% is where we're going to start having some movements with alts. Dominance is actually really interesting because when you think about how the dominance trends over time and how it relates to the altcoins, it's maybe something that we could pay attention to and know when we start to see the dominance flip switch. And this is how we could, analyze our portfolios and be like, dang, well, this is probably was a really good season to be more heavy Bitcoin and not be too heavy alts, and make sure that, during these particular periods, we see where, the alts can kind of find some type of bottom, and we didn't invest in the alts at the top and then start bleeding down and then have to kind of eat some of the price, some of the, average price, and lose a good, 30, 40, 50%. Because you got to remember, Bitcoin goes down 5-10%. Your alts are going to go down 20, 30, 40%. I mean, some of them can get fully smashed at 90% on a 10% Bitcoin dip. That's what happened with a lot of the AI coins. All the AI narrative, it was a bubble with all the different AI coins, and they all dropped over 90%. So it's pretty crazy how this dominance thing can start to make sense here, and how it will relate to our total crypto market cap blasting into the banana zones that you see here in 20. You can see here, Look how long we've been trading under this like fair value line, and if we do the same thing here. And I posted on X. Where did it go? I said if ETH rhymes with 2017, I said, wow, just wow. Look, 2017 in the quarters, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, we get some moves. I would be very fascinated to see how people react if ETH actually really goes to its like 8 to 10,000 price point, where I think we're going to be headed. That means that from now to the end of this bull run cycle of the banana zone, ETH could technically from now outperform Bitcoin, which would be wild. That would be so wild. But wait, we got to check it. Okay, so if we went here and we went up to 10K, just say like we went to, okay, or just a little under, let's say like 9K, okay, 234%. And then we go to Bitcoin, and if we go to what people are calling for this particular cycle is $200,000, that's kind of like an average call price, $200,000. That would be, wow. So like that's only 94%, but that's still amazing. I mean, for Bitcoin, that's amazing. From where we're right now, be about a 94%, close to, if we go to 200K. So that means from this point right now, there is a potential that Ethereum can outperform Bitcoin on the bull runs. And I think historically it has. It's like it kind of kicks in a little bit and then it goes. And so it'd be interesting to see what happens when Bitcoin gets up there, because I think if I want to say when, not if, when Bitcoin gets to 200K and we see that, even just a 9K ETH, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be awesome. I mean, it's going to be great. I'm going to be so happy. But there are going to be a lot of people that are probably going to do what a lot of people did with Bitcoin, is like at points where it's really bad, they sell and they're just like, I can't begin to feel the pain. And I think a lot of ETH holders were crashing out hard thinking that, man, I just can't do this anymore. And they're going to do the thing that a lot of Bitcoin holders ended up having to do, is buy at the price that you deserve, which is whatever price you end up going back in to realize that, dang, I made a massive mistake. And so then you buy at 30K, you feel the pain again because it punishes you a couple times more, because then you're like, okay, fine, I finally believe now, I'll buy. And then it goes back down to 24,000. You're like, oh, and then what do you know? 72,000. It's a hard game, my friend. You know, it's not. No one ever said it was going to be easy. So that's why I think, you know, you practice patience, you practice conviction. You have a small bag of coins. I recommend 10 to 15 coins. Maybe you have 20, 25. That's fine too. But this is my personal opinion. Don't take it as financial advice. But I think you're able to focus more and lock in on 10 coins. And you level them with risk. What's going to be your bigger store of value? That's like your super long-term play. That could be Bitcoin. That could be something else. Maybe you're a Bitcoin Cash person. Maybe you're whatever. Who cares? Whatever you think is going to be Monero. If you think Monero is the play, it can be that too. But whatever it is, you just need to focus in. Like if you're trying to keep up with 35, 40, 50 different tokens, and then also if you have not a lot of liquidity and margin to be able to invest in the 35 tokens, like if you can't even have $1,000 minimum in all these tokens or whatever, so like, I don't know, what's the point? Because then maybe one goes up, maybe goes up. But then if you just lock in on 10 things and understand the ecosystem a little bit for those 10 things, then that's how you can possibly be a little bit more successful. But I still don't want to even say it's guaranteed, because the 10 things that you picked could also not do as well as what other 10 things you maybe could pick. So it's not always 100% guarantee, but I think there's just higher probability chances, because it's all like a risk game here. Who's willing to put in enough of the risk to then gain the reward? That's the whole game here, is risk to reward, and the ratio and the emotions and all the things that go into this. This is trading. This is spot as well. Like just being able to hold a spot bag of something through the chaos. I mean, imagine, there's people that were able to hold through all this chaos. And you are an absolute legend if you were able to hold even portions of Bitcoin, like during all of this volatility, and then to be able to then say, okay, maybe I'll take some profits up here, or I don't know. It's just wild to even think that, because it really is. It's not easy. It is tough. It's not easy. All right, let's see how gold's doing. We haven't seen. So we were saying, guys, that gold is gonna take a bit of a cool off. It's probably could trade because gold is being sold. Gold's being sold, and what do you think it's going into? What do you think people that have now finally have been buying gold this whole time? They're gonna start taking their profits into Bitcoin. I think this is playing out on the chart right now. You can see a double top that just happened with gold on the daily chart to send it right down into under 3K. Whoa, the train is super loud. We have train tracks just right close by in my neighborhood, and this one was super loud. It was like Ozzy Osbourne Crazy Train loud. Sounded creepy. Yeah, so gold is being sold off into Bitcoin, the quote digital gold. The Nasdaq futures are up hot because of all this bullish announcement. All these deals being made. I mean, a lot of liquidity flowing into the United States, and then not to mention, you got Doge catching the fraud before it goes out. So that we could actually be coming into a golden age, guys. And crypto is the best place you can be right now. Like crypto, and having skin in the game in crypto and knowing about crypto, giving it a chance, not being one of those people that doesn't even know what the freaking price of Bitcoin is. Like, you got to be in tune with what is going to save you financially. It's like this the only way you're going to be able to make it out of the simp way that you can go about the next like sections of your life. Ownership, sovereignty, being able to really truly understand this money, I think is going to really benefit us. All right, so let's look at the chat here. I saw some question marks come up. Just joined in. What do you think about XRP? Well, the stock market, you think it's kind of like it's more encouraged, and it's also part of portfolios for 401ks and then the dividends and the monthly dividend returns, and stuff like that. That's more of a safer institutional play, especially for the boomers, the old money. They don't, and so they're starting to realize it. You got to think about the old guard. You think about the Cardones coming in. They're already kind of on the forefront. They're really hot in real estate, but now they're starting to realize, like, dang, okay, like we have got to understand Bitcoin and start to reorient and diversify into more of a crypto-centric business model. Michael Saylor did that with MicroStrategy, and now completely rebranded to just Strategy as a completely Bitcoin collateral liquid company. So Frank Pizzo said, dude, you don't play the song anymore. Pump song, let's go. Dude, I can't do the pump song right now. It is 9:00 and I'm already too loud, and my family is trying to go to sleep. I wish I had a soundproof bunker that I can go into and do these live streams, because I would be an insane person, but right now, and also I'm still trying to get over being sick, so no pump song today. But we might need it, to get this candle going. Gotta look at the 5 minute. We need the 5 minute candles to give us some. It was crazy, that 5 minute candle that we saw in the middle of the night the other day on Bitcoin. It was this 5 minute candle. It was the most bullish 5 minute candle I've ever seen. I want to find it. It was just wicked. It was just like pump city. I think it was this one. No, it was like a really big one. It was hot. No, I'm going back too far. And is ETH going up? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Let's go. We're testing. Oh, man, we might actually get a bullish test to 2,800. Oh, we're eyeing this thing. If we can crush this, we just start going. This would be wild. We just go boom, and we just start testing. We just start testing and flying into 2,800. Actually, that's exactly what CryptoFace said too. And I was like, I'm glad that CryptoFace finally is getting on the ETH train. He was like, I convinced all my people to sell ETH and to blah, blah, blah. And I was like, but what if you're wrong, CryptoFace? What if you're wrong? And all those people that you told to sell their ETH are going to come and find you. But he said, let's see. Yeah, we have at least 2 more 12-hour candles of upward pressure. He said 2,800 is around the corner. He said 3,200 ETH tomorrow is likely. This was 6 hours ago. You can see the kind of, it's very interesting. Very, very interesting how this could be playing out on ETH. Yeah. Yeah, we have to see. Yeah, we gotta see what's going on. That would be nice. I mean, we get a push up to 2,800. This is gonna send. I mean, we thought the altcoins were giving us some moves now or recently over the past week or so, but we'll start really going. We'll start really pushing. All right, real quick, I want to remind you guys. Oh, me? Says he knows TA. He doesn't give good advice on what cryptos to buy and hold. Are you talking about me? You must be talking about someone else. You must be talking about some other guy. The thing is that I can't tell you what crypto face. Oh, okay. I was like, I can't technically I can't give you advice on what to buy and hold. I mean, I've kind of given my opinion on how I've felt over time. Now I was like, man, I just probably could have just bought more Bitcoin and held more Bitcoin. Excuse me. I always come to that conclusion when I've analyzed. Sorry. Oh, dying. Woo. Need more tea. Yeah. I always come to that conclusion when I analyze the moves that I've made. I'm like, man. Because I feel like I've been pretty I kind of bullish Bitcoin for years now, but my portfolio doesn't equate to how long I've understood and realized things about Bitcoin, and that I will say is a little frustrating. And it's painful because you kind of start to think about where you've flopped around, and you maybe you chased pumps. Oh, I know. I was like, I know. So I'm dying. Sorry, guys. I like I said, I've been getting over being sick, and it was all like I had no cough or anything like that, and then I had like the green snotty crud, and then that's finally like left me, and now I have some stupid cough. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like. Went to some, like, tickle in my throat. But yeah, it always ends up coming back to, man, if I would just have held more of the Bitcoin. Yeah, and Scottish Crypto makes a good point. He says, it's so tempting to play around, though, but be thankful. Learn about comments. I'm trying to learn about TA a bit, so now can make money in alts, but only learn this past few months. Awesome, yeah. Yes, Emmanuel, I do have all my Bitcoin because I've tried to. Take portions of my Bitcoin, trade it. And what's always so annoying is like I've always been pretty successful at trading my Bitcoin and increasing my amount. And then I get cocky and then the market punishes me and I end up losing the Bitcoin that I even started with. And that sucks when you had that Bitcoin at a certain dollar cost average price and then you end up trading it and giving it away to the market. Yeah, you're going to be, you are going to be really angry. You're gonna be like, wow. And by the way, we will not have that talk in here. We will not have that. Absolutely not. And shout out to Randy Hipper, because Randy Hipper actually is one of the crypto channels that came up in my feed, along with the big boys like, Cryptosaurus George, Journey Crypto, Carl from the Moon. And then we were like, who's this Miss Teen Crypto chick? But yeah, I love that she's very much crypto education oriented. She actually does and walks the talk. She goes to schools and educates kids on learning about Bitcoin and blockchain, so they kind of get prepared for the volatility that they're inevitably going to have to learn anyway. But no one's really telling them that. But people like her are doing that, and I think it's actually pretty admirable. And it makes me feel like I don't work enough in crypto. So shout out to Randy Hipper. For real, seriously. So and she's bullish on my channel too, so she's very supportive. So yeah, ETH is doing some interesting stuff, man. I think we could be it's looking nice. And then Manuel's asking, do we still trade inverse perpetuals? Right now, I don't have any inverse perpetuals open, but I'm very tempted to do a Bitcoin one so I can like print some more Bitcoin. It'd be really nice to, yeah, 100%, yeah. Yeah, we need the women in crypto. It's sausage fest around here in crypto. I mean, it's like if you look up videos of crypto events, I mean, it's like, it's sad. It's just a bunch of smelly dudes, We don't need a bunch of smelly dudes that are talking about crypto. Oh my gosh. It's a nightmare. It's a freaking nightmare. It's like going to an NFT event. There's not a woman to be found in sight. It's like going to a Solana NFT event. You're like, where are the women? Oh man. Okay. All right. Let's see. What do we got going on here? Okay. Cool. We got a couple likes. Happening. We managed to get the other stream that we did earlier today at 20 likes. That probably is true. Scottish Crypto. That's actually a good observation. Women's risk profile, or it's actually very much lower than men. It's been proven by studies. Like it's obvious in its nature. Men are more risk prone, and women, as being the life bearers and can birth the child, naturally their risk profile is a little bit is lower. They're not jumping out of planes. They're not working on oil rigs out in the middle of the ocean. So their actual mentality of probably like investing and actually holding into something would be way stronger than what a man's is, because we're probably a little bit more tempted to, quote, gamble it away because we're ding dongs, Speaking of ding dongs, ETH, which had been a ding dong for the past year and a half, 2 years, is finally going. I think it's gonna break, guys. I think it might break. I think it's gonna break while people are going to. This is gonna be hilarious. All of crypto Twitter that was crashing out on ETH, they're gonna go to bed. They're gonna go, you know what? I'm not. You know what? Because I've been up every night in the trench, and I haven't gotten much sleep. I'm gonna go to sleep early tonight. You know what? I'm gonna take some melatonin. I'm gonna go to bed early tonight. Get some sleep. And then lo and behold, ETH goes to 2,800, almost goes to 3K, whilst the people that were crashing out on ETH are asleep. we'll see what happens. But I think that could be on the table. Oh, we got a newer truth. Okay, the Boeing 747 is being given to the United States Air Force Department of Defense. Not to me. It is a gift from a nation, Qatar, that we have successfully defended for many years. It will be used by our government as a temporary Air Force One until such time as our new Boeings, which are very late on delivery, arrive. Why should our military and therefore our taxpayers be forced to pay hundreds of millions of dollars when they can get a free one from a country that wants to reward us for a job well done? That is hilarious. Because there's some Democrats that are like, we should pay for that. Why are we getting it for free? And so this big savings will be spent to make America great again. Only a fool would not accept this gift on behalf of our country. So thank you for your attention to this matter. Very interesting. All right. This chart is the crypto journey. We started with uninformed optimism from FOMO that brought us in to begin with. Then you put your own actual money in, and then you were very much informed by pessimism and uncertainty and fear and doubt and oh my gosh, now I'm in the valley of despair, which is called the bear market. And you either choose to escape, quit, and repeat all the phases again, or you stay and push through the valley of despair, which is the bear market, and you go into another stage of more informed, fully informed optimism, because now you understand what it takes, and then you get to stage 5, which is success and fulfillment. Shout out to Alex Hormozy for this particular graph that gives you your emotional stage and your time horizon for what it takes to actually get to, quote, the reward at the end. The pot of gold that is at the end of the Bitcoin rainbow, my friends, which we could show you right here. It's called the red zone, baby. We're going to get in the red zone. And we always get in the red zone after every halving. Like our stream earlier today, we are keeping it simple. How simple can you get as to just looking at where we have the halvings and that we always go into the red? So what makes you think we wouldn't do it again with better regulatory framework and the most bullish sentiment we've ever had in crypto? If we get rug pulled now, then that would be the biggest rug pull in history. But I really don't see that happening, because if you do the research on the money system and know that there's no other end in sight, what do you think these people are going to pick? Probably going to pick the strongest computer network of miners in the as the de facto reserve to be able to battle the debasement of the fiat printed currency. It could be as simple as that. Someone said the Doge chart is about to explode. Yeah, that's another one. The Doge chart is looking pretty good. Where's our Doge? Yeah. Oh, yeah, because we finally got up into the, if we look at the daily chart, oh, yeah, we just broke that structure on 21 cents, and we're eyeing a 26, 20, but the 28 cents, we're eyeing 28 cents, probably see a little resistance there, and then we're going to be eyeing that 33. So just watch for take profits at 29, 28 cents, and then a little retracement. And yeah. So exactly. Boom. At the 0.5, it'll hit probably back down 30 cents, retrace, and then smack into the 618, which is at 34 cents, 33. It's like lined up freaking perfect. A spicy meatball. It's looking real good. Things are lining up to be bullish for crypto. We're really happy you're here, guys. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you guys. Thanks for getting the likes up to at least 10 likes. That helps. That helps the algorithm. It really does. I still think it's possible that I am still shadow banned. Like they somehow shadow banned me for, I don't know why. I don't know why they did me like that. Because if you type in DANO crypto, look, I don't even come up in the suggestion. Like, that's bad. Like, that you definitely... Yeah, I'm going to report this. I want to report the search predictions because it's terrible. It's the nano crypto price prediction. Insane. What the heck? Can you guys try that too? Can you just like type in DANO crypto and like if that's what pops up, I'm like, what the freaking heck? Wile E. Coyote is watching on the TV but chatting on the phone. Let's go. I like that setup. You're like, and then you got the Apple Vision on. You're like, got drum and bass playing in the background. See, Scottish Crypto? This is why I only have 3,600 subscribers, because YouTube is shadow banning me. For real, like I swear, I've come to the conclusion. I am too entertaining to not have already blasted through the stratosphere, but but that is some BS though. That makes me so mad. I'm like, why? I'm like, I mean, it's directly saying DANO crypto, and they still don't even want to. They just don't want to give it to me. And then when you type in DANO crypto with no space, guess who comes up? Dan Crypto. Let's go to Dan Crypto, and look, here is. Is there a Dan? Yeah, and then this is what comes up. This guy, Connor Kinney, which doesn't have crypto in his name at all, but he has 290,000 subscribers. But I think he has been doing it probably a little. I mean, his channel's been around maybe a little bit longer than mine, but I just find it fascinating. I'm like, dang, they're really. Oh yeah, digital asset news. Yeah, so the digital asset news, Dan Crypto, it's pulling it to this. That's freaking crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I know. Shark typed in DANO crypto, and then they suggested nano crypto. But do you think that'll solve it? I mean, I could literally just make the YouTube Daniel. I just make it my name. Like, I mean, it seems to be working for this guy. It seems to be working for Connor Kinney. Damn it. But his channel has also been like around since 2017. Because if this is the case, yeah, so he's had this channel on here for a while. So I'll lay off him, but still, I'm like, man, I think having crypto in your name, I don't know if it's might be detrimental or if it even helps at all, because it's like, I don't know if YouTube even favors crypto content, to be honest. All right, someone is asking dominance, please. Where? Okay, dominance on Bitcoin. Yeah, the dominance really is. Oh, yeah, it really is trending down. If you look at the daily, we've called for this. We were like, we had it here. We thought it was going to start trending down here, but then it started going back up. So we thought it was going to go like this and then like start to go down on the line, but then it went up a little bit higher. And then, so I mean, I feel like we could have a nice little, especially when ETH starts to really pump, then we're going to have the dominant switch. We're going to have a little bit of a dominance fight. I don't know. It's a little tricky. I will tell you, Shark. If anyone has ever tried to have a channel or push a channel or kind of have that algorithm effect, because it can happen to any channel. Like the search is very interesting how the algorithm works on YouTube, because it's like there's millions of people on YouTube every single day typing in stuff, typing in keywords that I'm putting in my titles and all that stuff. And it's all up to YouTube if they want to put my video, like this live stream, for instance, in front of more people in the search. And if the thumbnail is, at least catchy enough for them to click on it, they're most likely will kind of stick around or at least see about it, but they're not even putting it up there. If they're not even putting my name in there, then they're totally smacking it down like crazy. But yeah, the dominance is going down. Dominance is freaking going down. Wile E. Coyote said, I sold all my BTC, rolled it into alts. Well, if you guys were in here earlier, whoever was in here earlier, and we explained to you that it is possible that Ethereum could outperform Bitcoin as of the prices right now. So in terms of percentage moves, it's possible right now that Ethereum could go up more than Bitcoin. It could be happening. Because if it just breaks all-time high or just gets back to its all-time high, that is like an 87% move to the upside. But I think it's going to crush way more up. And we have our price target for ETH. And if you guys haven't actually seen my ETH video, you should check it out. Because it hit a stopping point, and also YouTube isn't even giving me the right numbers of views. It said 35 views, 40 views, and other places it says it's 100 views. I'm like, what is it actually, YouTube? Are you really being that crazy? But look at this. So there's 21 likes, but only 58 views. That can't be right. So share this video, because it does explain how Ethereum is going to be one of the most hated rallies in crypto history. That is true, yeah. Well, because that's called the extraction. We made that joke that a lot of the cabal, all they do is they extract your money with the meme coins and the rug pulls, so then they can use that to then buy the stuff that is the stuff that you should have bought to begin with, like Solana or Bitcoin. And so it's the way that they can extract wealth from everyone, so then they can buy the real stuff. Pretty tricky game there. Wile E. Coyote said, I think you would do better if you get people to share the video link and actually join through the link, not going to YouTube. What do you mean? Get people to share on, for instance, X or something like that. If I get people to Because here is the actual, well, because here is the X stream. So there's 12 people watching on here, but then here's the actual link. I posted this, but there's no repost and there's one like. So, and this should be good in the algorithm because it says huge deal between the USA and Middle East. Golden age upon us. I think it's a pretty good thumbnail. Wile E. Coyote said, I got 126 ETH. Don't tease me with a good time. Don't tease me with a good time. Yeah, ETH is going. ETH is eyeing. I think it wants to break. Be cool to just see a nice God candle, a God 5-minute candle break up to 2,800 and just like make everyone's faces melt. Just a 5% pump right to 2,800. I would love to see that. Because then everything else will start sending massively. 166, okay. Oh yeah, the Walrus trade's starting to pick up. We were just talking about Walrus. Yeah, that one's starting to pick up some steam. Oh yeah, oh nice. This thing is starting to really go. Whoa, hold on a second. 70 cents. Hold the phone. Man. Because that Sui is pushing the Walrus, man. Look, I was showing you guys earlier on stream that Sui, the highest liquidity token on Sui right now, is Walrus. What? It was. What happened here? Hold on. Earlier when we looked at it, it was like up here. But still, it's in the top. Getting close to $1 billion market cap, too. Holy crap. Oh, interesting. So we have this wick here. Went up to $1.18. So that could be actually, that's actually probably what it's eyeing. It's eyeing that wick. It's eyeing this wick here. Technically, it's broken through where the initial, that initial resistance. Oh, man. This could be interesting. This could be really interesting. Scottish Crypto said, are there any big data announcements coming out in the U.S. over the coming days? I know we had the CPI. We had like the CPI data or whatever. I think it came in okay. Honestly, a lot of the times I don't even like to follow that stuff because it just gets everything too convoluted. I just follow like the moving averages and like, is the trend up? Cool. All right, let's be bullish. Is it really down? Okay, we can be kind of like neutrally bearish, but still bullish if we're in a bull market. And they can throw the whatever numbers all around they want, but all I know is that they print the money, and where are they going to put it? They're going to freaking put it in Bitcoin, and the stock market's going to pump because it's rigged. And that's the play. So with TikTok, in order for you to be able to stream, you have to have a certain amount of followers. And I only have like 4. So unless I start getting some influx wave of TikTok followers, then I can't really stream to TikTok right now. Yeah, I think all that crap like with the data, it's just like it's like for short-term traders to be able to be like, all right, well, is it going to dump short-term or is it going to, and then it kind of distracts you, and it's like, okay, what's the forecast here? What is it really? All right, you're going to lower the interest rates and then you're going to print the money, and then we don't have to make it like super super complicated. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe you guys can help. Maybe you guys can help me out. Maybe you guys can just like repost and share this live stream out to the world. But honestly, guys, I think we're done live streaming because we don't want to be too loud. My wife is gonna be like, "You are still live streaming? Are you insane?" It's 9:38. And honestly, I want to get some rest, but I feel like the market is just like, what is happening right now? Like ETH is just gonna fly. Like I really want to get more money in my Pepe trade, to be honest. And I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, I might close this walrus trade, and then take all of that liquidity and then put it into Pepe. Because if ETH starts to run again, like Pepe is going to break all-time highs. And then if I think about the risk to reward ratio of that particular trade that I would do, and if the max of what Walrus could do here, going up to $1, or wherever that wick was, like $1 or something, and probably hit some resistance. Okay, that's 65% move to the upside. Okay. But I have pretty low margin. And the max upside potential, 114, 242. It's not too bad. But, Pepe going to all-time highs, which I think is very well in the cards here. If we go to the daily, if I get close to the all-time high price with what I have in my current trade right now is 1,293. So if I add in all of that margin in there into my Pepe trade and we break all-time highs, I mean, we're looking at multiple thousands, not just a few hundred. And I think it's high time probably right now, if ETH is going to break and we get a nice push. But that just means, okay, cool. Like I successfully made a nice trade with Walrus, and I'm hedging now a lot more into Pepe, which I think is going to probably do a lot, but just bigger multiples here. Yeah, because I mean, look, 95%. I mean, we could be pushing hard here. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it feels too juicy for me not to do it. I kind of want to do it. I'm gonna do it. Okay. Well, wait. How about this? Let me do this. Let me just do 75%. Okay. Because then I can just keep that trade open. I can still keep it open. I'm gonna go to Pepe. All right, we're on Pepe. And now I mean, could we limit in here? Yeah, let's see if we can get a limit. And we're just going in. We're going in. We'll see if it triggers the limit. It's going to be tough because it's starting to go. Yeah, it's starting to go. We might have to drag it in. We're going to have to chase it. Oh, we're chasing it. We're chasing it now. Oh, I love when that happens. When you start, you're like, come on, come on. You're just chasing it. You're like, let me get the perfect limit in. All right. Now let's see where we would be in profits for the all-time high now. I love this dubious speculation. That's now it's looking a little sweeter. Now that pot's looking a little bit bigger. All right. Move that stop loss. Honestly, we probably just need to move the dang stop loss into. We could move it into break even. We could move it into break even. Or a little bit above take profit. Be real nasty for it to hit us there and do it to us like that, but I'm a little bit more on the bullish side, but that's just for risk management and protection. We're going to make sure that all our other trades look the same. Cool. See? Stop loss in profit for Bitcoin. And for Ethereum, same deal. Oh, nope. So we got to make sure our stop loss is in profit, and we're going to go and push it up there. There you go. Walrus, we can do the same thing. Just put it in profit. All right, let's go. Nice. I like that decision. I feel good about that. Put a 1 in the chat if you feel good about that as well. Yeah, I told you it's probably gonna happen tonight, guys. ETH is gonna run tonight while we're trying to go to bed, and we need rest, and it's gonna be ridiculous. Let's go. Let's get to work, boys. Let's make these gains. Let's go. Let's push it. Come on. Come on. Come on, ETH. There we go. We just got to break that resistance right there. If we can break this, oh man, we are going to be going. Yeah, and what's the ETH? The ETH liquidation. There's probably some shorts that are going to get liquidated. I bet there's some ETH shorters right here. Let's check. Liquidation heat map on ETH. Where's ETH? There we go. Look at the 12-hour. Actually, interesting enough, a lot of liquidations that could happen at am I going crazy? Oh no. Got a lot of action right here at 2,500 of longs getting liquidated here. Yeah, a lot more action here. But then we need to look at the liquidation map. Oh boy. It could be getting a little dicey. It could be getting a little dicey. How are you guys feeling? I just have this feeling that it's gonna rip. It's gonna go boom. Well, all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next live stream. We're gonna try and get some sleep, but we might be eyeing these markets right now. So hopefully you guys can get some sleep as well. And again, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell to be notified. And we hope to see you on another live stream. Take care.